And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. My name is Keedy Owado, aka the Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time. That's 5 p.m. GMT or 5 p.m. BST and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Tuesday. It is the first day of July, the year 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Here's what I have for you today. I think you're going to find it highly relevant. Today on the LIB Radio, you will have a chance to speak with Ka, the brother from the future, one of my alter egos, revealing information that comes from the year 6265 KMT, Kemet time. Today, I have a frank and straightforward conversation about the current time and why you might want to consider following me into our Ma'at time future. The chaos that we are witnessing all around should have been resolved if time had not been interrupted and reality distorted. With what you will be given today, you can rebel, restore order and balance, and create the world in which you can thrive. Let's take a trip through time together. Today's theme is I am Ka. We are at a crossroads. And I mean this in all sincerity. We are at a crossroads. So that's what we are going to be dealing with today. Are you ready for it? I don't think you're ready. Are you ready for it? Yeah, man, we're ready. We are ready for it. I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to be sharing today. I got a lot of information on the table. I have several books I pulled out. Big Up Manhood. I'm going to be reading from the Alchemist Prize there. This is scientific futurism. You can understand why I am a scientific futurist. We will be talking also today from the book Quantum Advancement, which is describing much of this future that has transformed and changed. We will talk from the book The African Future. As well, 2 more books I'm going to share. The Global Wellness Future, undeniably, is one of my futurist texts. And the last book I want to put on for today is Forged by Fire, Post-COVID African Healthcare and Sovereign Development. Now, there is an entire chapter in Forged by Fire. This entire chapter is entitled Afrofuturism, Looking Over the Horizon. Let me begin with a couple of quotation marks. The first comes from Walter Rodney, the martyred Pan-African scholar from Guyana. Walter Rodney wrote, There were a few far-sighted Europeans who all along saw that the colonial education system would serve them if and when political independence was regained in Africa. For instance, Pierre Fontaine, a founder of the Alliance Française, stated at the beginning of the century that it is necessary to attach the colonies to the metropolis by a very solid psychological bond against the day when their progressive emancipation ends in a federation, as is probable that it is probable that they remain French in language, thought, and spirit, as is probable they remain French in language, thought, and spirit, from Walter Rodney, from How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, and further, a very important quote, I hope you hear it, from Ray Kurzweil. He wrote, "Does God exist? Well, I would say not yet." So we're going to be talking about this African future. This is a lovely, lovely, lovely chapter of a great book. It talks about a number of things. It talks about the future of African economic GDP growth, and that's very optimistic. It talks about how hopes for a positive future for younger generations, us unleashing the Tuskegee model of innovative service. That's a very important subchapter. And it also talks about building upon the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And lastly, I want to run a nation, how to do it. We're going to do the best we can to come back to this chapter during the course of today's conversation. But like I say, there is a lot of information I have on the table. First of all, I want to say greetings to you and our listening audience. We hope you do check in today. Would love to hear from you. When you do check in, please do hit the like button. Let the algorithms know you like what you're hearing today, tomorrow, and in this distant African future. I am Ka. We are at a crossroads. Let's go. I pulled a piece of video up. I'm going to show that video in just a little bit, because one of the things that we're going to have to confront right now is the economy that you and I, as baby boom generation, you and I have enjoyed living in the richest nation in the richest time in the world. We are at a crossroads. While America's riches have flipped, now America is the greatest debtor nation. So whatever wealth we perceive we have, we are living off of borrowed dollars. And for many of us, about 25% of the adult population, it's run out. And I'm going to show you a video that shows you think it's bad for us, for Gen Z. It's going to be even worse, significantly worse. First thing I want to do, I want to talk about everything will change, has changed. Look for changes in entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, spirituality, family, conflict, future studies, Pan-African affairs, sustainability. Everything will be changing very rapidly. Let's talk about this topic of Afrofuturism. And I have a very extensive essay on Afrofuturism I'd like to share with you. Afrofuturism. Bear with me. Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic, philosophy of science, and history that explores the intersection of the African diaspora culture with science and technology. It addresses themes and concerns of the African diaspora through techno culture and speculative fiction encompassing a range of media and artists with a shared interest in envisioning Black futures that stem from an Afro diasporic experiences. While Afrofuturism is most commonly associated with science fiction, it can also encompass other speculative genres such as Afro fantasy, alternative history, and magic realism, and can also be found in music. The term Afrofuturism was coined by American cultural critic Mark Derry in 1993 and explored in the late 1990s through conversations led by Alondra Wilson, Yatasha L. Womack, writer of Afrofuturism, the world of Black sci-fi and fantasy culture, and it defines it as, quote, an intersection of imagination, technology, the future, and liberation. Afrofuturism has a rich history that dates back to the early 20th century with figures like Sun Ra, a jazz musician who created a mythical persona that merged science fiction with Egyptian mysticism, and W.E.B. Du Bois, a historian, sociologist, and scholar who developed hand-drawn infographic charts of African American life in 1900 to document the varying aspects of the history and, quote, present condition, unquote, of the American Negro. These charts were displayed at the Paris exhibition in 1900 using graphs and data visualization to present a scientific method to analyze the past and present living conditions of an underappreciated people. In the 1970s, Octavia E. Butler emerged as a powerful voice in science fiction. Rather than mimic the styles of white male authors who dominated the field, Butler wrote stories aligned with Black cultural themes and with Black characters, often as heroic survivors in oppressive worlds. Many of her works include Kindred, 1979, and Parable of the Sower, 1993, feature Black female protagonists challenging social hierarchies of race, class, and gender. Butler's unique voice forged a path for other non-traditional voices in sci-fi. The 1990s saw the formation of Afrofuturism as a term and concept, with cultural critic Mark Derry coining the term in 1993. This period saw the emergence of Central Library's Octavia Lab, a do-it-yourself studio space named in Butler's honor. This past summer, the Octavia Lab used 3D printers, the kind of technology that Afrofuturism celebrates, to produce personal protective equipment for health care workers. Against the odds, Butler blazed a trail through the white male-dominated world of science fiction. She told the New York Times in a 2000 interview, quote, when I began writing science fiction, when I began reading, heck, I wasn't in any of this stuff I read. I wrote myself in. Since I'm me and I'm here and I'm writing, unquote. One of her fans is Delana Hunter, a librarian and archivist for the Los Angeles Communities and Cultures at UCLA's Library Special Collections. In 2018, Hunter and Kelly Besser, archivists for UCLA's Library Special Collections, participated in a San Diego Comic Con panel called Beyond Wakanda, intersectional Afrofuturism. Hunter says, with Afrofuturism, the point is to challenge what it means for Black people to be free on our own terms. Afrofuturism has a significant cultural impact, influencing a wide range of artistic and cultural expressions. It has been featured in literature, music, visual art, and film, with notable examples including the sci-fi novels of Octavia E. Butler, the saxophone epics of Kamasi Washington, Marvel's blockbuster Black Panther, and the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. These works not only captivate and provoke, but are also offer alternative visions of the future that are inclusive and empowering. They challenge traditional narratives and stereotypes about Black people and offer alternative visions of the future that are inclusive and empowering. It can also be seen as a way to reclaiming and reimagining African cultural traditions and spirituality in a modern context. In the realm of music, Afrofuturism has seen a significant influence, particularly in the work of artists like George Clinton and his musical collective P-Funk, which merged the broad cultural influences of psychedelia, the civil rights movement, and sci-fi pop culture to create a unique style and sound. Nona Hendrix, a musician, producer, and futurist, has also been driven by her constant push to recreate and re-envision her art and image, utilizing technology to invent new musical and aesthetic forms throughout her career. Afrofuturism has also had a profound impact on education and community engagement. Students explore Black history and culture through the lens of Afrofuturism, learning about the past and present while imagining liberated Black futures. This educational approach helps students understand the motivations for Black people to create stories, art, and music and engage in political advocacy. It also contextualizes Afrofuturist popular culture within its socio-economic and historical framework, beginning in the US and extending into the Caribbean and Africa. In summary, Afrofuturism is a multifaceted cultural movement that has evolved over the decades, from its early roots in the 20th century to its formation in the 1990s and its current influence across various artistic and cultural domains. It continues to inspire and challenge, offering a powerful lens through which to envision a more inclusive and liberated future for Black people and their cultures. That is an extensive essay on Afrofuturism. I welcome each and every one of you to today's program. Shabaka 14, I see you in the house, my dear brother Shabaka. Greetings, Kitty. Goodwill and peace to all. Oh, yeah, I'm good for the pink salt. Great to have you with us, Brother Shabaka. And pink salt it is for all of us today. And I welcome you to the conversation. We are talking with Ka. You are talking with Ka, the brother from the future today. We are aligned with the Kemetic calendar. Not just the Kemetic calendar, but we are aligned with 4,200 years of steady development that had been repressed, suppressed, trounced over, usurped, absconded by Urugu, the kidnapper, the thief of culture. Today we come to you recovered. We come to you not from the position of the U.S. Constitution or the Bible Constitution, but Ma'at. We are constituted by Ma'at, the 42 positive affirmations of Ma'at. We come to you with the spirit of the alchemist. That is who we are. That is what we share. I want to just share with you just that. The spirit of the alchemist. I have this book up on my desk. I wrote this book for Black men very specifically. It's a set of instructions, rites of passage to reclaim masculinity and restore bio integrity. Let me tell you, over the last 2,000 plus years, we have been compromising our bio integrity, and to too great extent, we have given up those things, those rites of passage programs that reinforce our essential manhood. We are, for the most part, still males, but there is a big difference between a male and a man. I want to share with you a chapter in this book is called Affirmations. Big Up Manhood Affirmations. And first affirmation is entitled The Alchemist Pledge. I swear before Ra, the almighty force of energy. I swear before the great mother goddess, her womb, the source of life. I swear before all the mighty forces of nature, the Neteru and Orishas. I swear before the great ancestors, saints, and the martyrs. I swear before the wise and esteemed elders of my global community. I swear before all the children, the babies, and their mothers. I swear before all the brave ones whom we trust to carry the spear. I pledge before all of my great family, who assemble as one, that I am prepared to step up to all of the duties and responsibilities required of me as an alchemist. I am pledged in any and all circumstances to transform that which is dull into that which is brilliant. I am sensitized to every opportunity to confront all challenges and to master over problems that have put all humanity in peril. I will move forward to build steamships, to educate our youth to preeminence through the mastery of all sciences. I will redirect the old enslaving forces of fear and panic into liberating ideologies that forge a new pathway to sustainable development. I will be constant in my creativity, sensitivity, positive alignment, and resourcefulness, all toward forging a new pathway to sustainable development. I am the alchemist. I turn that which is dull into that which is brilliant. I am energized by the sun, purified and given life by the waters, grounded in the pristine earth of my mother continent, and given wings by the breath of life, whose airs project my vision over the horizons. I am the alchemist. I am at once the past, present, and the future. I am that I am. That is the alchemist pledge. I'm going to come back maybe by the end of today. We're going to share another affirmation from this chapter. And that affirmation is the Osarian prayer. So very key and critical. This is a great book. I haven't picked it up for some time, but for all men, manhood, this book has everything in it. It has a formula for rebuilding your free testosterone. Talks about a big up man should be able to. This is awesome. I have a bullet point list. A big up man should be able to, just real quickly, do at least 40 push ups without hesitation. A big up man has prepared his body to respond to emergencies requiring strength. I currently, as of yesterday, do 275 push ups in that one set, the first set of three, which took me to 575. Two, a big up man must engage in fasting for a minimum of 3 days straight on water only. A big up man must contain his emotions until the primary problem is solved. A big up man stops eating foods that undermine his masculinity. He could go cold turkey. A big up man must read at least 3 to 4 books a year and enroll and actively engage in book study circles. And there are a number of other points. A big up man must demonstrate his prime interest and commitment to a massive transformative purpose. Big up man must write a clear statement of purpose, a creed he pledges daily to live by. And big up man must not allow his life mission to be emotionally reactive and dictated by forces outside his control spectrum. Common isms, doctrines that affect the bulk of society do not necessarily deter the self-determined man from making the world work for his ultimate benefit. And that's just a few of what a big up man must do. I would say a big up man must get this book. If you don't have it, I don't know why. We're going to be talking more about the future here very shortly. But I did promise you I'm going to play you a video right now. I'm going to put this up on the desktop. This particular video is dealing with the Gen C job market. Now, I heard this today on LIB Radio, and Dr. Gary Null posted this up. And let me see if I can find it real quickly. I'm going to open this up from streaming media, from the PRN, Progressive Radio Network archives. And the archive was Dr. Gary Null talking about, give me a second. It was Dr. Gary Null Clips was the program, his show on Gary Null. This was the set of video clips that Dr. Gary Null connected to today. And the last one I did listen, and it's really wild. The first one, title, Labor Market Collapsing Faster Than They're Telling You. Second one, Why Gen Z Workers Are Getting Fired Fast. Third one, Microsoft fires 19,000 workers as tech sector collapses. Fourth title, Intel fires 10,000 workers overnight, workers shocked. Fifth title, 35,000 workers fired from Amazon as job market gets worse. And the sixth title, Job Market Total Collapse, 7 million can't find work. So you can go to the website prn.live, Progressive Radio Network.live. Look in the archives, look for that Gary Null show, and he linked to those video clips. It's pretty bleak. It is pretty bleak, and it explains why I have been suffering along with you at keeping LIB Radio open. And if all of the jobs collapse, there's no way in the world I can keep it open. I'm going to play this little short piece. This is from CBC News, Canadian Broadcast Corporation News. How did the Gen Z job market get so bleak? I'm going to play this video. I'm going to play just about 4 minutes or so of this. I will cut it off a little bit early.
These university grads will have to deal with one of the worst job markets in years.
Man, the economy, man, it's hard.
Have you tried looking for a job?
I have. It's bleak.
Basically, everybody else I know who's graduated is unemployed.
It's always tough to find that first job out of school, but for Gen Z, it's even harder.
It is disheartening, but at the same time, it is because of the market. It's not really me that may be the issue.
But hold on a sec. Just a few years ago, all anyone could talk about was how hard it was to find workers.
Canada is in the middle of a huge labor shortage. Some workers in this country are in high demand right now, and they are reaping the benefits.
I'm going to replay
Greatest
this
economic
as
challenge that we're facing in Ontario is the labor
So I'm going
shortage.
to replay
So,
this
a huge shift in the labor market.
right now
Let's break
one
down.
more time.
These university grads will have to deal with one of the worst job markets in years.
Man, the economy, man, it's hard.
Have you tried looking for a job?
I have. It's bleak.
Basically, everybody else I know who's graduated is unemployed.
It's always tough to find that first job out of school, but for Gen Z, it's even harder.
It is disheartening, but at the same time, it is because of the market. It's not really me that may be the issue.
But hold on a sec. Just a few years ago, all anyone could talk about was how hard it was to find workers.
Canada is in the middle of a huge labor shortage. Some workers in this country are in high demand right now, and they are reaping the benefits.
Greatest economic challenge that we're facing in Ontario is the labor shortage.
So, a huge shift in the labor market. Let's break down what happened and what it could mean for a whole generation of Canadians.
Well, I've applied for maybe 400 or 500 plus jobs.
Divian Varnakamaran is graduating this month with a degree in electrical engineering. He's already applied for hundreds of jobs, but so far, no luck.
For something that you only need like 0 to 1 years of experience, they're like, oh, we found a couple more people that were more experienced. How does that make sense?
It might not make him feel any better, but he does have plenty of company. The unemployment rate for university, college, and trades grads who are under 25 is just over 11%. If we don't count the pandemic, that's the highest it's been since the late 90s. It's a big change from just a few years ago. Businesses were scrambling to fill jobs and workers were in high demand.
It was really high coming out of the pandemic, which probably was never going to last.
Eventually, he says, those businesses did manage to find staff, or they just got used to doing without them.
And then following that, the interest rate hikes that the Bank of Canada put into meant to slow that inflation down. That probably also slowed overall economic conditions with impacts on hiring appetite.
Then, of course, Donald Trump returned to the White House, and we all know what happened after that.
The president will be implementing tomorrow a 25% tariffs.
And now the trade war is officially on with the retaliation by China.
All of that back and forth over trade and tariffs hasn't exactly been great for the economy.
So when businesses have uncertainty, they sometimes will pause hiring.
Tim Lang is with a national organization that helps youth find jobs.
We deal with thousands of small businesses as well. And if they might hire 2 people, maybe they'll hire 1. And if you multiply that by thousands of businesses, that's like a 50% drop.
Not only are employers more cautious about hiring, there's also lots of competition for jobs that are available. In recent years, the population of young people has been growing even faster than the rest of the population, partly because of non-permanent residents.
The surge in job seekers coming from abroad at a time when the economic situation has been softening has been sort of like 2 trends that together have created a weaker environment.
It's not just that youth have to compete against each other. In some cases, they might also be competing against workers who already have jobs.
Many individuals who are overqualified for more entry-level roles that are traditionally filled with youth or recent grads. These individuals are taking on secondary jobs to be able to sustain themselves with the inflation that we're seeing, the rising cost of living.
And so that's bumping out people who are, fresh out of school.
Hi, I'm from Ribbon, calling about your AI-powered interview.
To make matters worse, sometimes the competition isn't even human.
Some of the more routine, mundane tasks that used to be maybe be filled by a summer student or a co-op student or a summer job opportunity are now being automated or outsourced to AI.
It's hard to know just how much that's actually happening, but it's certainly one challenge previous generations never had to deal with.
So we're seeing, I think, a decrease in the opportunities, the entry-level opportunities for young people to enter kind of their professions of
students graduating right now, if they
and the answer to that is it depends.
According to a Statistics Canada study from a couple years ago, it's not unusual if your first job out of university or college isn't the job you trained for. Where this does become a problem is if the economy falls into a recession. Young people who graduate in those conditions could end up making less money in the long term.
Well, whether this is a temporary blemish or a long-term scar really depends upon the macro climate.
And I'm going to stop that there. We are live and direct here. It is Tuesday, the first day of July 2025 in the Western calendar, 6265 according to our calendar. For today, I am Ka, the brother from the future. So we have to understand that somewhere between 2025 and 6245, the job market fundamentally changed. Fundamentally changed. Now, again, this may be confusing to you listening today. I am coming to you from this future today. Now, tomorrow, I will probably be back in sync with the majority of our listening audience, although I will still keep one foot in the future. We have to understand there is no way we can continue this as it's going. It's impossible. It's unbreakable. If we just look at housing costs, while we're seeing today the job market is extremely distressed, the cost of buying a house still keeps rising consistently at above 4%. So 100 years from now, the cost of a house will not be $1 million as it's approaching at this time in this generation. The cost of a house is predicted in 100 years to be $45 million. And that's for the equivalent of a house that's worth $100,000 at this particular time. So what to do? We have proposed a solution, and that's pull back, get out of the mainstream economy, build our own smaller economies to where money doesn't even really matter. We can create our own script. We'll probably be using digital currencies by that point. And whatever we create must be sustainable. We cannot recreate something that is unsustainable. It is Kujichagulia villages, people. Very few of you have been really hearing what this idea is about. The idea is brilliant. It's way over the horizon. I've been working on this idea since 2008. No, it's actually quite some time before that, probably since about 2000 when we started the camping retreats for livinginblack.com. So we are today talking with and to and from the brother from the future. For one, in the future, you will not be carrying around the names. You will not be naming your children in honor of the enslavers. You're going to stop doing that. Because you will realize at a certain point, you have to align your children with the future. And quite simply, for me, as an African person, the future is Africa. So what are our names? Shabaka, Yeah. Sister Shingai. Yeah. You've got it because you wanted it. You needed it. My friends, most all of my friends, dear friends, good friends, carry African names. Not everyone. And I don't judge a person to be my friend or not because they do or do not carry an African name. But it makes great sense if we are projecting ourselves into a future where Africa survives and thrives. And America, for the most part, as far as this brother from the future can determine, America's descent in the chaos continued for so long that it fell from its hegemonic position and ended up breaking up. America ended up breaking up into smaller, more manageable territories. America was just too big to manage, just like you've heard me say, the Congo was too big and diverse to keep together and call one cohesive nation. America's too big to manage. It's breaking apart. Look at what's happening all across the country. What does New York have in common with Miami? Other than the fact that a lot of New Yorkers left New York and went to Miami, that's about it. What does Texas have in common with New Hampshire? What does California have in common with Arkansas? Not much. We're talking today with the brother from your future. No one is asking me a question. No one is talking to me. We are at a crossroads. We are at a fork in the road. We either keep going straight or we turn left or we turn right. If we turn left or turn right, that's risky. But if we keep going straight, we know that's going to be fatal. So a lot of us just sit down in the road, waiting to see where the masses are going to go. Well, and we know that the masses are pretty much lost. They're in the chaos. What do we eat? Do we know which way to turn? What do you and I eat to survive? Do we continue just as we are with the amount of artificial ingredients in, artificial food, artificial flavorings, artificial colors, chemicals masquerading as foods? You have hydrogenated oils in the mix. These things don't come from nature. Where do we find nature? Is nature to be found? Can we Sankofa nature, go back and fetch and then bring it forward? Now, for me, I've got it. I got it down, which includes the ability to go long periods of time on water only and still not lose my strength. That's the key. You don't want to lose your strength when you're doing a fast. We are here. I'm talking with you today. I'd like to talk to you today. Somebody type in a question. There's enough people listening today for you to put a question on the table for your brother. I am Ka. I am the brother from the future. And we welcome you. We welcome you to the listening audience today. Now, why am I looking at here and I'm not seeing my Rumble page? I'm hearing it, and it's in real time, but it's not up. And I'm sharing a page. This is really weird. Oh, because I'm not on my other page. Now I am up on the You Now, but I am up on, I am being heard. Am I on You Now? That's the question. My feed You Now. That's Rumble. I don't want to be on Rumble. I want to be on You Now. Bear with me. You Now. Okay, I am up on You Now. Now I need to do the hit the right links and bring you all back in because you were listening to me on Rumble while I was on You Now. This is health and news, and we are here and LIB Radio Tuesday. Click that, go live, and then one more link. I want to screen share today's program with this, and we are sharing, and I think I got it all corrected now. Sorry about that. If you have been a fan listening to us on You Now, I had to just go through and fix that daggone thing. Okay, it's fixed. Today, I am Ka, and we are at a crossroads. I want to go to this book. This is scientific futurism. Scientific futurism is a term used to describe the practice of forecasting and predicting the future of science and technology based on current scientific understanding and research. It involves using scientific data and analysis to identify emerging trends and technologies that are likely to significantly impact society in years to come. The goal of scientific futurism is to provide insights into potential future developments in science and technology and help individuals and organizations prepare for the changes. It is an interdisciplinary field that draws on a wide range of scientific and social sciences and is often used by governments, businesses, and other organizations to inform their long-term planning and decision making. This is scientific futurism. And I am a scientific futurist. A couple of points I want to point out here. This quote from Dr. Calestis Juma, he is now an ancestor. He was the model of scientific futurists that I, in particular, learned from, studied from, and ended up emulating. Dr. Calestis Juma passed a few years back at a very young age of diabetes. He wrote in this paper, Science, Technology, and Development in Africa, Pathways to Accelerated Growth, he wrote the following quote: "Science, technology, and innovation provide the foundations for social and economic transformation in the modern world. Countries that have succeeded in mobilizing science for development have demonstrated an ability to compete effectively in the global economy. They also have been able to significantly enhance the quality of life of their populations." That's from Dr. Calestis Juma. And I do a profile of him in this book, but I just want to begin with the following chapter. What is scientific futurism? And why am I speaking from the future today? Technically, I am with you and not. I have a 1 foot in the year 6220, 6265, and a 1 foot in the year 2025 simultaneously. What is scientific futurism? One quote here to begin it from Eliezer Yudkowsky. He wrote, "By far the greater danger of artificial intelligence is that people conclude too early that they understand it. That's a very key, critical, important. Scientific futurism is a term used to describe the practice of forecasting and predicting the future of science and technology based on current scientific understanding and research. It involves using scientific data, understanding, and use and analysis to identify emerging trends and technologies that are likely to impact society in the years to come significantly. And it talks about scientific futurism aims to provide insights into potential future developments and help individuals and organizations prepare for the change. Here is how I first introduced this concept of scientific futurism into my books in the Repairing 2016. I wrote, take a moment to introduce the concept here. Okay. Toward the aim of being able to plan and develop for a sustainable future accurately, the challenge of cultivating scientific futurism as a discipline within the intellectual class serving the group is a primary and critical task. Scientific futurism differs from astrological charting, numerology, palm reading, crystal ball gazing, and casting bones. Methods by which people seek to determine what might become their fate. The focus of our attention on science is not to cast aspersions upon those who practice these esoteric crafts. Yet, for managing nation building, we need to advance highly functioning capability in more logic-based systems of forecasting the future. Scientific futurism involves the disciplines of demographics, science and technology trends, economic patterns, geology and planetary resources, sociology and culture, politics, environment and climate change, the humanities, alternative futures analysis, health and biology, as well as trends in education. Scientific futurism requires the intellectual organizing of data patterns across the spectrum of disciplines, intending to create processes for traversing the future. In a later chapter of this book, we will return to the subject of scientific futurism in great depth as we move into the strategic and tactical steps necessary for the successful implementation of the repairing. So next I list methods, trends, and focuses of scientific futurism. This is a long list. I'm just going to read straight through it. What are scientific futurist disciplines applied? Here are key study areas associated with futurology. Analogy, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, big data, biotechnology, climate change, demographics, economics, emerging technologies, emerging trends, energy, environmental concerns, extrapolation, forecasting, goal setting, health and biology, horizon scanning, humanities studies, the Internet of Things, investment, life extension, logic, marketing, modeling, nanotechnology, planning, politics and policy analysis, prediction and analysis, quantum computing, road mapping, risk analysis, robotics, scenario planning and development, sociology and culture, space exploration, statistical analysis, strategic development, synthetic biology, technological trends, virtual reality, and visioning. Those are all different aspects of scientific futurism. And it goes on and on. This is a lot of books. 17 disciplines of futurology include the ologies that comprise future studies. Name 15 or more academic disciplines that constitute scientific futurism. They are artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, space science, environmental science, psychology, all areas of critical study, sociology and culture, economics, political science, philosophy, information science, quantum physics, health and biology, neuroscience, geology and planetary resources, and demographics. So across all those spectrums, I put in the time. I put in the time to write these books with an explanation of each of them and how I not only explore them, but what it is that gave me the scientific futurist advantage from studying those topics. And I feel really good about it. You are here today with I am Ka, K-A, Kidi Owadu. I am the brother from the future. I am that I am. Going forward, I'm hoping that we will have some response, some reaction from our listening audience today. I'm not getting much response from you, and that's tragic, because with the right response, we take our program up to much greater level. I did give you strong insight on how things are getting worse, and that so many people cannot find work, or out of work. And we're going to just do the best we can. I do suggest that if we would commit to Kujichagulia villages, there's work for everyone. Everyone now is employed, 100% employment. Everyone. Building houses. Building these houses, growing our food. Making handcrafts and woodcrafts and all other kind of things. Building our own furniture for our own houses. We have the ability to really do very well. But there still persists that thing inside of us where we somewhat, I think, we just lack confidence. No one's talking to me right now. I'm going to try to do the best I can to provoke a conversation. What if I give away a book? What if I give away a copy of the book? You can have your choice of the two books. I want to see if anyone is listening. The first person to type your name into Rumble, I'm only monitoring Rumble right now, you will get your choice of quantum physics or quantum advancement or scientific futurism. The first person to type your name in, and you could, well, I'll put in my text me for the free book. So I am at 702-580-0662. And you let me know, which book do you want? Do you want the quantum advancement, or do you want This Is Scientific Futurism? I'm trying to see if anybody is. Shabaka is in the house. He did it. So Shabaka, you let me know, which book do you want? Thank you, Shabaka. I appreciate love that. And maybe I should not have announced his name so quick to see if anybody else would even try. would even try. We do the best we can. I'm going to give away one more book. Whichever one Shabaka doesn't want, I'm going to give away the other one. So one more person, type your name into the chat box, and you will get one as well. Let's go forward. We have The African Future. I want to go into that book because that's one of my favorite books. And in the last book, the last chapter of this book is entitled, not the last chapter, one of the last chapter is called A New Sankofa. A New Sankofa for African Spirituality. Because in essence, these conversations that take us beyond the horizon into the future, these are really about spirituality. From John Henry Clarke's documentary film, A Great and Mighty Walk, comes the following. Religion is the organization of spirituality into something that became the handmaiden of conquerors. Nearly all religions were brought to people and imposed on people by conquerors and used as the framework to control their minds. So said, I didn't say that. I just echo it, repeat it, and sign onto it. John Henry Clarke, A Great and Mighty Walk. It is essential that we note that the contemporary context within which African religious practices are dominant in the lives of African peoples represents a conquest of culture and civilization. This largely European and Arabic capture has provided divergent and conflicting perspectives on African spirituality and the relationship between divinity and human experience. And it has usurped the critical role of ancestral veneration in indigenous societies. At present, the dominant place that religion has assumed in many people's lives reflects a continuing legacy of conquest, colonization, and imposition of foreign culture on reluctant populations that were genuinely genuinely fearful of torture and murder had they not complied and conceded. While some sources emphasize the importance of understanding and valuing African indigenous thought and practice, others discuss the complexities and challenges of exploring and practicing these traditions. In The African Future, we are motivated to address the many self-limiting contradictions presented through the widespread adoption of religious institutions that have served and continue to play a central role in the brutal, dehumanizing engagements that created our great disaster, the Ma'afa. Go back and fetch. Sankofa is a term we have appropriated from Ghana's Akan people. It embodies a profound philosophical concept in West African spirituality. The word Sankofa is composed of three parts: San, meaning to return; Ko, meaning go; and Fa, means to fetch. Collectively, it translates to return to get it or go back and fetch. On this topic of go back and fetch, we're reminded of many empowering ideas of our wise and esteemed ancestors. Dr. Amos Wilson inspired us with such, quote, "In order for African people to reclaim their cultural and psychological health, they must reach back and retrieve their indigenous spiritual systems, which offer a path toward true empowerment and unity. The Sankofa concept encompasses the importance of reflecting and building upon the past to anchor the present and determine future actions. One definition of Sankofa has stuck in my mind. It states that, quote, "It is not taboo to return to the past to fetch that which was lost in order to move forward," quote unquote. This wordage is reportedly attributed to Chinua Achebe, the prominent Nigerian novelist who wrote the book Things Fall Apart, and social critic Chinua Achebe, regarded as Africa's leading intellectual of the 20th century, transitioning into the 21st century. In West African spirituality, Sankofa symbolizes the necessity of looking back at one's roots, history, and traditions to reclaim valuable knowledge and wisdom that can enrich contemporary life. It serves as a reminder that understanding and honoring one's heritage is crucial for personal and communal growth. The Sankofa bird, often depicted in art and symbolism, is shown with its head turned backward while its body moves forward, illustrating the idea of learning from the past while progressing toward the future. The Sankofa principle is particularly significant in discussions about identity, cultural revival, and social justice. It encourages individuals and communities to embrace their history and traditional practices, especially for the benefit of those in the African diaspora, where so many have suffered disconnection from their ancestral roots due to colonization and forced migration. In contemporary settings, Sankofa is a guiding principle for various movements focused on cultural reclamation, education, and empowerment. It advocates for a holistic approach to personal and community development, emphasizing that the past is not merely a distant memory, but a vital source of strength and inspiration for future generations. By embodying the Sankofa spirit, individuals can foster resilience and a deeper understanding of their identity and purpose. I'll repeat, by embodying the Sankofa spirit, individuals can foster resilience and a deeper understanding of their identity and purpose. And that is really beautiful. I'm just going to share just a little bit of this next chapter because it just hit me. And this is so very important. I want to say, read from the comments. Brother Shabaka writes, "I am Ka. Thank you, Baba. I move real slow these days." Well, we're going to do the best we can. Also, doing even better as we stay focused on what needs to be done. I write this in the chapter, Global Respect, Africa's Influence in World Affairs. Just one quote from the beginning of the chapter. This quote is from Professor P.L.O. Lumumba from Kenya. He writes, "I believe that we have reached a stage in life in the economic development of Africa where moving forward is perilous, moving backwards is cowardice, and standing still is suicidal. But we must persevere because winners do not quit, and quitters never win." Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. Ashe, ashe, ashe. I'm going to begin to wrap it up for today's conversation. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. I'm sorry I never gave away the second book, but I don't know. People just didn't respond. I said I'd give away the second book. Either they're scared of me, don't want to give me their mail address, or they just don't want the book. The two books, he said, I want the book I Am Ka. So that's the book you're going to get. The other one was called Quantum Advancement. I'm going to wrap it up with this following affirmation. This affirmation is the Osarian prayer. And it is very, very important. And I'm going to real quickly just share with you the Osarian prayer. I further solemnly promise and swear that with the divine permission, I will, from this day forward, apply myself unto the great work, which is to purify and exalt my spiritual nature, that with the divine aid, I may at length attain to be more than human, and thus gradually raise and unite myself to my higher and divine genius. And that in this event, I will not abuse the great power entrusted unto me. That is from the original account of the teachings, rites, and ceremonies of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, written by Israel Regardie, 1995. And I cited that in my book, Conspiracies and Crimes. I think that's where I cited it. Yes, that was cited in Conspiracies and High Crimes. I also cited that one in this book, which is Big Up Manhood. And Kashiba, Queen Mother Kashiba, I see you in the house. Says, Kitty, you do not have all of your books on Amazon website. I could not order, and on LIB radio website. Amazon has nearly all of my books. The ones that I don't have up on Amazon are not the ones that I'm really pursuing anymore. Some of the ones are early books. There are, I think, almost about close to 50 books up on Amazon, if not more. So put up my link here. You can order my books. I apologize, but we're going to get it right. You can see all of my current books at http://keidi.biz/CRP 2012. And all right, thank you, Queen Mother Kashiba, for being you. And thank you so much, Queen Mother Kashiba. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. I cannot thank you enough. So I thank you wholeheartedly. And I look forward to the time when once again, I will be in your area and we will be together once again. That is the Conscious Roster Report. That's going to take you right to CRP 2012, the folder in which my books are found. And so I did double check it. And I'll put this down below in the section, the comment section. Okay, I put that down in the comment section as well. So that is in the comment section for today. I'm going to post this link up for the various websites. And then we're going to wrap it up for today. It's been a good day here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. I didn't even have to use my AK. I highly, highly recommend everyone. You need to read, study the book, Kujichagulia Villages. Everything we talked about today, the chaotic society, the collapse of the dollar, the collapse of the housing market, the millions of Americans now can no longer find jobs, all of this has one solution. You got to get out. You have to pull back, grab your resources and go home and rebuild everything, not just for yourself, rebuild it for all of the children of your new village. Rebuild it for all of the people of your new nations. Rebuild it for the entirety of the African continent, for all of the children of the youngest part of the planet. Don't be selfish, be completely unselfish. Be so unselfish that you are just like mad. You're not mad. The word would be giddy. You're just foolishly unselfish. It's not foolish. It's not. All of the words I'm using to describe unselfish like this are all negative words. But we turn the negative into the positive. We are the alchemists. We, as African people, we are the ultimate alchemists. We took that which was dull and turned it into that which is brilliant. We turned chitlins into a gourmet meal. We used to. We turned pig skin into crackling, a tasty treat. We used to. All that to say this. Don't give up on you. You have, in actuality, a bright and brilliant future. If you can't see it, change your name. Change your name. Adopt an African identity and start to see the world through a brand new set of glasses. I am Ka, K-A, Kidi Owadu. Ka is the soul, symbolized in ancient times as such. When we're moving forward in the soul alignment, we become invulnerable. We become super women and super men. There's nothing that we cannot accomplish. I got a lot of quotes that say this, that confirm this. A lot of stuff from scientific futurism. I can randomly flip to any page and catch this all moving us forward. The value of scientific futurism to emerging nations. I clicked on that page, and Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, says the following, quote, "We are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with a fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. There is no time for apathy or complacency. There is a time, this is a time of vigorous and positive action." He said there is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was a futurist. That brilliant young man, in 1968, he died at the age of 34 years old. The brilliant young man. The man shone, and he still shines. We are a timeless people. Marcus Messiah Garvey set a direction, a pathway that we are still doing our best to catch up with them 100 years ago. Today, we talked from several books. We read them from Quantum Advancement, Spectacular Discoveries Along the Magnificent Way, and I couldn't give it away. The Global Wellness Institute. I didn't talk from the book, but As has been projected within this book, today the global health and wellness market is estimated at slightly over $5.5 trillion in annual GDP. Economic analysts have projected it to grow as much as $7 trillion by 2027. More than $7 trillion. Now they're projecting it to grow to $8.1 trillion by 2028. As we're now halfway through 2023, this leads us to calculate that we will witness the appearance of $2.9 trillion of new economic activity within this rapidly expanded sector of the global economy. For me, there's only one very important question that arises with this understanding. If we know where $2.9 trillion of new economic activity is going to show up and confirm this some 3.5 years in advance, how much of that massive expansion do we plan to capture with our strategic programs? Let's spark a village and prosper while doing for ourselves. Doing for ourselves. You really can't miss. We talked from the book, read from the book, The African Future, Empowering United and Prosperous Africa for Future Generations. I look forward to building that future. We talked from the book, Big Up Manhood. Big Up Manhood. Every man, all of it. And sisters, you need to get this book for your man or would-be man. And if he cannot grow into the instructions that are in this book, if he doesn't thank you, read the book and then tell you how excited he is about what he learned about his self, his future, you need to consider he may not quite yet be the man you need, sisters. He may not be the man you need. Big Up Manhood. We talked from the book, This is Scientific Futurism. I am Ka, the brother from the future. And in the last one, Forged by Fire. Post-COVID African healthcare and sovereign development. And we did look over the horizon, taking our instructions very carefully from two of the great scholars we cite. And we should be hopeful. I want to read one more section. Can I get away with it? I should go ahead and let it go. Now I'm going to read one more section. Hopes for a positive future for younger generations. As we reach for the stars, it is best to remember that we stand upon the shoulders of giants. Our collective history truly is a road map. It places us on the course of civilization history and reminds us of the greatness that is our heritage. Our comprehension of our people's history helps us to solve problems that have appeared on our long journey of distant and more recent past. We are now challenged with how to pass this glorious history forward. To sustain progress for our people, we must educate our younger generations to inherit our grand enterprise, maintain whatever positive momentum has been secured, expand the foundations of our people's future prosperity, and trust these younger generations with our destiny. While all of this appears as sweet and sensible ideas, the reality is that good speech is not enough. Our children are inspired by far more by our action than our words. Further, incompetence on the part of older generations fails whatever confidence that we would want to be awarded by younger community members. One of the great lessons in life is the appreciation of literacy. From the perspective of an elder who has fully appreciated the treasure of our people's written history, I am not at all happy with the degeneration of literacy among our younger generations across the diaspora. And Queen Mother Kashiba, I'm sure you agree, you and I, we are not happy with the degeneration of our people's literacy. As an African, raised in the most powerful nation of the modern era, it is very disappointing that we have seen this generation among our youth over the past half century and more, this degeneration among our youth over the past half century and more. This trajectory will prove catastrophic if we allow to continue, if allowed to continue to decay. It is unavoidably our most sacred duty to implement an appreciation of their progressive inheritance from their foreparents into our younger generations. These immense family treasures include art and crafts, family vocations, specialized talents, mechanical abilities, health and wellness, wisdom, music, and language mastery. These elements are critically needed to continue the progress built since the worst of our long journey from the humiliation of conquest, enslavement, exploitation, and colonization. We stand at the crossroads of over 2,000 years of our group's Holocaust. The sun is dawning in the east. Africa Rising is the banner spanning our common cultures. African civilization is approaching another grand imperial presentation. The door is rapidly opening for us to seize this opportunity and change world history for the next 500 years and more. Destiny smiles upon our house at this time. We are grateful and owe it to ours and future generations to make the best of this window of opportunity to set the world right side up. This is our grand responsibility. We are up to the task. We are the alchemists. We are the alchemists. And there's so much more. I could just keep on reading it because I love literacy. I love the book. I love Dr. George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington. I love Amos Wilson, John Henry Clark, Mary McLeod Bethune. I love all of my people, the past, the present, and the future. We are building, and we are going to do the best we can to build for eternity, and even then, beyond that. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. We didn't have the biggest audience, but we did have a beautiful audience. A couple more people have signed in. He says, when your chat disappears from the link from your books, also disappear, put the link in a permanent location. Yeah, the link is at it's in the comment section of today. I do see it down there right now. You can find it there, as well as you can find it on the front page of LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Thank you very much, Queen Mother Kashiba. We appreciate, love you, helping your brother with the instructions. And Nguvu has joined us. We have the capacity, both intellectual and physical, to build the world we say we want to live in. HBCUs provide the intellectual capacity, and Africa providing land. All we need to do is start. Sankofa ourselves. That's right. Thank you, Nguvu, for checking in today. I want to just say greetings to everybody. Thank you all for all you do for all of us. Now, what did I just do? Oh, here it is. I want to thank you all for myself and for each and every one of us. We've come a long way together, haven't we? This 23 years now of this LIB radio journey has taken us a long, long way. And on that long journey, we have had many moments. We've heard from so many scholars here on LIB Radio. We heard the words, and we are the living now, what we have affirmed and signed on to. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. I send peace and prosperity forward to, for, and with each and every one of you. Ashe, ashe, ashe yo. Peace and prosperity.